Hello everybody, Calamity here, and today's video is going to be about the Sequence of Solitude. That's a free weapon you can grab in the Whirling Waltz event that's currently happening right now in Genshin. And it's a pretty easy event. You're just going to manage an amusement park, and it's just a bunch of mini games, and it's all very easy stuff. It's all explained to you, and it only took me a couple minutes just to get it. Now, I'm going to explain how to actually grab the weapon, the upgrades for it, what it does, and who it's good for. So first of all, if you can't even see this like event page or whatever, that's because you don't meet the eligibility requirements. You have to be AR rank 20. You have to unlock a Statue of the Seven, and you need to complete the Archon quest, Song of the Dragon and Freedom. It also has a bunch of other like quests in parentheses, you know, just because it introduces more of the characters. But I think you can skip those and go straight to the event if you want to. But that being said, once you've participated in the event, come on over to Performance Reward and click this little button here, and then you can pick up the weapon here, and you can pick up the refinement materials, which is these composite bow tuning kits. As of recording this video, however, I am unable to get all of the rewards. It's time gated, just like every event. So by the end of the next week, I think, we'll be able to have all of this and all of the rewards from this event. Let's move on to what the weapon actually does. So let's move on over to the weapon preview. As we can see, it has a substat of HP percentage, which is already a bad start. There are not a lot of characters in this game that are HP scaling bow characters. And the effect also not that great. Let's talk about it. It's called Silent Trigger. And when you attack, when an attack hits an opponent, you deal AoE damage equal to 40% of max HP, of the wielder's max HP, at the target location, and this effect can be triggered once every 15 seconds. So first of all, that 15 seconds is going to stay 15 seconds because it's not a blue number, so that's a very long cooldown. That's because if you're using this on like trash mobs, you know, they're not going to be alive for 15 seconds, or at least they shouldn't, unless you're using some really underwhelming characters for some reason. And you don't really need AoE damage on bosses, so finding any sort of use for this weapon or this special attack, not that great. Let me show you what the AoE looks like in a quick demonstration. So we're gonna come on over here. I put the bow on Siegewin because unironically she's one of the best characters for it. She's HP scaling. And we're just gonna go ahead and do a simple attack, and I want you to pay attention to not the damage numbers because I haven't fully upgraded this bow. I just don't have the materials. But also remember that in the weapon effect description, it only uses your HP percentage, so it actually doesn't care about the base attack. However, I will point out that I am missing a little bit of HP because it's not fully upgraded though. That's the damage I am missing. So with a fully upgraded bow, I would calculate my damage, or my HP would be like 50,000 something. So yeah, we're missing a little bit of damage off the AoE attack. But let's just do it on these unsuspecting crabs here. So you can do anything, right? It doesn't have to be a normal or a charge attack. You can just do like skill. And then hopefully you're able to see the AoE. It's pretty small, and it's honestly, it's like a flashbang. It's very quick, and it did about 8,000 damage, so I'm sure with a fully maxed out bow and all that, and all the refinements and stuff like that, it would do way more. But keep in mind a couple things here, is that it was physical damage, not elemental damage, and the higher level the monsters are, the more defense they have. And on top of that, a lot of high level monsters, bosses, elites, all like the majority of enemies tend to have high physical resistances. So you could say like, yeah, Panda, once I get like my 60,000 HP Siegewin, you know, this weapon and Refinement 5, that attack is going to be insane. And you might be right. Yeah, like it'll definitely do like some nice damage for sure. But remember, the cooldown is 15 seconds. Once every 15 seconds is pretty yikes. That's you know, again, whatever you're fighting, if it's like a normal enemy, should not be living that long. Let's move on to the character archive so I can show you like who this weapon could be good for. And like I said earlier, it's not a lot. Here are all the bow characters as of right now. Obviously, I don't know if this weapon will be better for a future character. I don't look at leaks. I don't know who's up and coming yet until it's officially announced. So, you know, maybe it's good for a future character, maybe not. I don't know. But here's what we do have. Chaska Auroron, nope, not going to be good for them because they're not HP scaling. As I mentioned before, Sejuin is honestly the best character for this weapon because she is HP scaling, and she also doesn't need as much energy recharge as other characters do because, yeah, her burst does do some damage and stuff, but that's not, if you're just using her just as a healer, then it doesn't matter. You don't need energy recharge, just use her skill for healing, and then you move on to the next character. And then, yeah, her bubble will take advantage of the weapon effect as it bounces around enemies, and yeah, it'll do the damage for you. The biggest thing to note though is that Sejuin is probably one of the most rarest characters you'll ever see in this game because not a lot of people pulled for her. So if you're one of the few rare Sejuin mains out there that, or you just happen to pull for her, congrats. There's like 10 of us in the entire community. Anyways, moving on to some other characters. Sethos, Liney, Farazan, Tainari, Kali. I'm just going to save you some time here. All of them don't really want this weapon at all. Next up is Yelan, who is another HP scaling character and another recommendation. However, I'm sure a lot of Yelan mains, realize out there that this weapon still isn't a good option for her, despite the HP percentage, because Yelan is a character that needs other stats as well. She has a very expensive energy recharge cost, so if you don't have like a sacrificial bow or Favonius Warbow to help with that, it's going to be hard for your burst uptime, which is way more valuable than some mediocre AoE attack that you do once every 15 seconds. She also needs, as I mentioned before, crit rate, crit damage. She is a DPS after all, so those offensive stats are definitely going to be more worth it in the long run. Like, again, you can use this for her if you've got nothing else, but you will definitely find some better upgrades out there as you keep playing. This is definitely a stepping stone weapon until you get a better one. Moving on, Goro, Kujosara, Alloy, Yoimiya, Ganyu, Tartaglia, all DPS. Well, they're not all DPSs, but the last three are DPSs. He scales with defense, she scales with attack, and Alloy is a sub DPS, so none of them are HP scaling. The last recommendation I have for you is Diona because she is HP scaling for her shields and her healing, but she has the same problem as Yelan does for this weapon in that she's missing a bunch of energy recharge by not using it. And again, we all know Favonius weapons are very useful for their utility of giving energy to the entire team, and losing that ability just, again, for some okay-ish AoE damaging attack is not the play. Energy is very, very valuable in this game for most characters. Venti, Fischl, and Amber are, again, they're sub DPSs, if anything, and yeah, they don't really care about this weapon's effect. They don't need the HP. So yeah, like I said before, there's only 3 characters in the entire game that are HP scaling bow characters, and even then, only one of them I could recommend with some sort of like confidence. Like, yeah, this is actually a decent choice for her if you don't have anything. And again, that was Sejuin. But as I said before, one of the rarest characters in the game. Anywho. And that's pretty much gonna be a wrap on this video. I mean, unfortunately, event weapons tend to be hit or miss. Usually miss for Hoyo or for Genshin when it comes to event weapons, and unfortunately, this weapon is gonna be added to that long list of misses, and it's just not that great. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. If you like this sort of content, I'll be making more in the future. But if you also have any other questions about this event, this weapon, feel free to ask in the comments down below. Or if you feel like I am missing something, maybe it is good for another character and I'm totally missing out on something, sure, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know who. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next video.